It was a typical Sunday, somewhere, AD, and I was once again on the verge toward epic greatness. But I had to collect all the pieces necessary to complete my task. I was once told that the first born son to break the womb was always the chosen one. I traveled back in time to witness the true events that would set up our future, a future of strange events, where you find out that everything ever known was a lie. A future where downside is up and upside is down. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, this is a warning. One time for your mind.
Welcome back to another edition of One Time for Your Mind. I'm your host today, the International Tate Incorporated.
And I'm Jabrian Barber, the owner of Plug Cafe.
Today's lesson is collaboration over competition. Now you're probably wondering what exactly is that? Like Nipsey Hussle said, this is a marathon, not a race. So instead of us racing each other, we need to be able to take our time and get to the finish line together. Okay? And a lot of times you be in competition with your family members or your so-called friends and you don't even know it. I think that's the worst kind of competition, is the one that you're racing against that you don't know. When we were younger, there was a story that was told us about the Harris and the tortoise. Now, you gotta ask yourself, does this even make sense to you? You got a rabbit racing a turtle. Surely the rabbit can beat the turtle, right? So there's an underlying message behind that. But ultimately, the turtle made it to the finish line before the rabbit, because the rabbit screwed itself out of energy, and the tortoise knew that. So that was a message in there. So now you know what that is, and we'll cover that on another story about a lot of these nursery rhyme riddles, what they actually mean. When they tell you these nursery rhyme riddles, people are saying these nursery rhyme riddles don't even know where they come from. Everything has an origin, like the letter O. Like some of y'all blood type is the letter O, because O is the original blood type of the original man. O as in 360 degrees. Okay, let that sink in for a second, but that's a message for another time. So the importance of collaboration. You look back in the days, you had a community, and there was a baker, somebody was the butcher, and they all did business with each other. Okay. Nowadays, you in the plaza with your barber shop, and your next door neighbor is the Chinese food place, and you're going over there and you're sending your customers over there buying food and stuff. Meanwhile, for the last 10 years, They ain't never came over to the barbershop and spent not $1 with you. Facts, look it up. But you're still spending with them. So the moral of that story is, other cultures got it where they know how to spend money with themselves and circulate their dollar bills and build each other up at the same time, while other people are in competition. Instead of us building one brick house and then moving on to the next brick house and building it up, while you're building your house, at night somebody's coming by stealing the bricks off the foundation and trying to build their house, and at night somebody's taking their bricks, and the situation just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. Flo, why don't you go ahead and elaborate about some of your personal experiences with competition versus collaboration?
Well, I look at it like this. It's like each one teach one. Like I was talking to one culture, and they told me the way that they build their businesses is they keep everything in house, as far as family and everything. So they work together until one person gets to where a goal. They set a certain goal. Once they get to that certain goal, the next person they invest into them. So they all collaborate with each other.
Right.
But one thing about our own culture, we don't collaborate with each other. We always in competition. Like, oh, I don't want to tell him how to do this because he might beat me. I don't want to tell her how to do this because she might know more than me.
Right.
Like, it's just like when I'm on a job. Like, I don't want to teach you that my ways of getting around things because you might be better than me.
Right.
So I might be out of a job.
So basically training your replacement. So at least that's a mindset.
Right.
It may not be what that is, but you know, instead of training your replacement, instead of helping that person get ahead of time, we're predispositioned, some of us, to, like I said, to be in competition instead of collaborating. And so, wow, this is a fact. While I was at my employer, I'm gonna say their name, many years ago, instead of being in competition with my associates, and the reason they call it associate because you're associated by the job you're doing. If you notice, wherever you're working at right now, your employer calls y'all an associate. They don't say we're friends or where's your friends today, blah blah blah. Even when they do their surveys, it's associate. You're associated by what you're doing. An example would be birds of a feather flock together. They walk like a duck, they quack like a duck. Obviously, it's a duck. But the moral of the story is, while I was working for my employer, I was working on my business. And my man, he coined the phrase perfectly. While I was working for a business, I was working on my business, minding my business. You understand what I'm saying? And with that being said, we need to collaborate more to open up a business, okay? The government, whether you are an employee of the government or not, if you got a social security number, guess what? You're employed by the government. And when you pass away, the government shuts the business down. And before your loved ones is able to touch that insurance money, the government, like anything else, collects on the taxes. Go ahead back to the collaboration versus competition.
Well, if you really think about it right now, the collaboration and competition thing is what the world we living in right now.
Right.
Because they telling you to be 6 feet apart. Why we can't be close together in a time like this?
Because
Why we can't be close together? We've been washing our hands. People have not been washing their hands. But is it really a virus because you start seeing love, or is it a virus because you want to take us apart?
See, my man brought up a very, very valid point right there. The reason I personally think they don't want us to be, less than 6 feet apart, because like I said, we're doing what we're doing right now. We're talking, and we're 6 feet apart for the ones that's watching. We're following the federal guidelines. If not, they'll try to take this video down off the air. They'll find any kind of way to shut you down. If you start talking too much, they'll find a way to silence you. Okay, hence the name, the silencer. But a silencer ain't got to be a gun all the time. Sometimes it's a gag order. You know what I'm saying? They can shut you down by holding your check, or taking your wages away, causing problems within the household, keeping you in competition with each other. Okay, your mother told you and your father told you, and if you're biblical at all, you know that a house that does not dwell against itself cannot stand. Okay, you know what I'm saying? If the bricks are fighting each other, how the house gonna stand, man? Your foundation got to be a strong foundation. But whatever your foundation is, once that's gone, the house is gonna crumble. So let's just say that your foundation is you're good at cooking, okay? You stop cooking, it's gonna crumble. What if it's good at, fighting? Start getting your butt whooped, it's gonna crumble. What if you're the breadwinner, okay, in your household? Come home with no job. Eventually, that love is gonna go out the window with them bills, because the number one cause of divorce in America right now ain't infidelity, it's finances. Go ahead with collaboration versus competition.
I really believe it, because what people fail to realize, you can put it in the state of a relationship.
Right.
I know people say money ain't everything, but when you first meet a lady, what you try to do? You try to impress her.
Right.
So you giving her your money.
Right.
Next thing you know, you're collaborating.
Right.
Y'all working together, and then when the money gone, you separate.
Right.
So you can hit it on all types of different points. Everything is about collaboration.
You got a very valid point right there. I got women in my family I grew up with, sisters, etc. And I've overheard through the grapevine when, they're dating a man, and you hear them say, hey girl, you better get all you can out of him. Meanwhile, you're at the nightclub and the guy buys you a drink. You ain't feeling the guy at all, but you drank his drink up, or maybe you eat his chicken wings up. Now the guy following you around the club, he ain't following you, honey. He's following his investment. Unfortunately, his investment is inside your stomach. So if you're really not feeling somebody, don't play with their feelings. You hear women tell other women, let a man play with your feelings, but as men, you rarely hit it. Don't let a woman play with your feelings. You understand what I'm saying? So why are we able to teach one particular sex over the next sex? I got girls and boys as far as kids. If my girls can't do it, the boys can't do it either. I'm fair but firm. You understand what I'm saying? Because if it's two sides of the same coin, no matter how you flip it, you're in the same situation. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the competition part. If you look back to the slave times, and where some people are still slave with the slave mentality, you got light-skinned people and dark-skinned people, for whatever the reason, fighting each other when y'all all are in the same pot. Does it matter if the crab is blue or the crab is red? You're still cooking the crab. They're all being cooked alive, and they all will end up on somebody's plate as food. Like I told people before, if you don't have a seat at the table, then you're part of the meal. You're actually on the table. Go ahead one time, bro.
Oh, I definitely agree with that. And you see why we're powerful now, because we collaborate. And we ain't in competition.
We hate to run, so this is all our time for the day on this particular episode. Remember, man, one time for the mind,
two time for the grind.
We out.
We've come to a conjunction in time where people just have to be informed. One time for your mind. That's the end of the song, different than another dog, but always the same drum. Why I gotta take death for the family come together? Leave hating to the face, take time to love each other. We all out in this wicked world, ain't nothing new to me. I got a key, but I keep a gun for security. The government fabricate a lot of rap, joking music. I'm getting rate on my money, cause Uncle Sam screwing me. On top of thing now, the gal didn't to you underground. You know what's going down, it goes around, comes back around. You was eating good, but it's time for you to suffer now. Lost all respect, found your heart in a lost found. I got it right in the song called When I Call Your House, You Don't Pick Up the Phone. I don't mean to clean your claw, hope you shit find a dime. Men dug a very fly, hold your door slam locked. One time, one time, one time for your mind.